I went from living like monks, living out back of the trunk, to pockets of fat with the mumps, pockets of fat like the clubs. Now I am living like Trump, now I am living like Trump. Mimosas and posas, mimosas, samosa, mimosas, samosa, the Morris Costa Nostra. Pulling up in Testarossa, we charging the debt, discharging the debt, discharging the debt, we charging the jet. Swipers on deck, ciphers on deck, ciphers on deck, wipers on deck, wipers on deck. My life is on check, my life is on check, my life is on tubes, my life is a Jew, my life is on you, my wife is on two, my wife is on two. I'm going for 3, you know it is me. Bread is the pillar, the jet is my pillar.
Red Pill, I want to ask you about the importance of Father's Day. And when I say that, I mean in the black community, you got the streets is flooded in New York. First of all, you can't walk down one block without seeing flowers, without seeing balloons. You turn on the TV, that's NBA season. All the basketball players got the special Happy Mother's Day, Mom, I love you. I mean, the world stops for Mom Dukes, man. The world stops for moms. But it ain't the same for Pops, man. So it's like, yo, Pops don't get the same love that moms get on Mother's Day. Is this something that, you know, fathers should be salty about? Should we understand the way the world works? Or is it something we need to change? Talk about it to the family, brother.
I mean, mama's the nurturer, papa's the protector. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think men should be running around trying to collect flowers and shit and candy and whatnot, you know, when they're out there doing what a father's supposed to do. You feel me? You know, but acknowledgement is key. As a father of 2, to be acknowledged for being a good father, to be acknowledged for being there, to be acknowledged, you know, by my children, just to say, Dad, I love you. You know what I mean? Dad, you're doing a great job and whatever. That is definitely something that can help lighten the heart. Fathers have it. We you know, shit, we wear a lot of stuff on our shoulders, same way that mama wears a lot of stuff on her shoulders and whatnot. So, you know, to be acknowledged, to be, you know, to get some breakfast cooked, you know, little things. I don't think as fathers we ask for too much. Being the one who bears gifts and making it all good, that's something that we do for mama, you know what I mean? Because mama is definitely, mama's babies, papa's maybe, mama's the one who really sacrifices a lot. She's there, she's giving piece of herself. She's the one who bore the child. You feel what I'm saying? So I understand the differences in, you know, admonishment when it comes to that day. So, you know, I'm good with that. I don't really lose sleep over the fact that fathers are not acknowledged during Father's Day. Now, I would want to ask some of the fathers who were out there before the interruption of the black family or the collapse of the structure of the black family, how was it for fathers back then?
That would be a good question.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if they was really giving it up to dads before they really took us out of the picture and made black fatherhood, you know, a rarity. But for the brothers who are there, who are in their child's lives in these days and times, I do feel like we should be acknowledged and there should be some form of celebration other than what I see, because when I look around in Harlem and when I go into BK and other places, I see a lot of brothers pushing carriages, bro. Like, that is something that I see a lot of that I didn't see before. So, you know, let's just acknowledge each other. You know, the fathers, like I spoke on Brother Garfield's show on Sunday, and I spoke about the need for fatherhood groups. You feel me? Because a lot of brothers who are fathers are going through a lot, especially when it comes to co-parenting, child support. You might not be able to see the child. You might live in a different state. All of these issues, all of these things that are being played out in society, brothers need each other for some kind of nurturing, some kind of therapeutic, you know, back and forth, for resources. I'm a dad. I need some tickets to you know what I mean, the circus or something, you know what I mean? They're like, I need the hookup. So us brothers should come together and afford each other the opportunities to open up doors for each other so we can make our children's experiences a lot better and things of that nature. So yeah.
You know, we talk about how influential the hip-hop culture is and how influential social media is. We're starting to see, like, if you go on Instagram, you see more videos of dudes braiding their little daughters' hair. And maybe 10 years ago that might be considered gay or feminine, and I'm not braiding no my little girl's hair, that's for her mother to do. Yeah. So I'm starting to see that, and I guess the biggest example that we see on social media right now is DJ Khaled with a sign. Yeah, so tell me, do you what do you contribute this change that we're seeing? Like you said, you're seeing the strollers in the street more and more. Yes. What do you contribute that to? What's going on in the psyche for us to say, you know, it's a right to do this, or it's a right to be more affectionate, it's a right to make braid my daughter's hair, or to hold hands with my children, or to do whatever?
Honestly, to be honest with you, going back to the initial statement that I made a few minutes ago, I would beg to differ that our fathers were not doing things like that. Our grandfathers were not being affectionate and things of that nature, and they were not, you know how you had the James Edward Evans in Good Times, the tough dad who was real stern and whatnot. You know, we had those, but we also had nurturing fathers as well. So to see fathers pushing baby carriages, to see fathers braiding their daughters' hair, we have women, single mothers, who are playing both roles. So why not the father play both roles at the end of the day? Why not the father cook for the baby, braid the child's hair, or do whatever it takes, whether, you know what I mean? Like, you're a parent. And being a parent, you should be able to encompass all things. Going back to what I said before, parents are taught by the child how to be better parents. The parent is not necessarily teaching the child how to be a better child, because children are going to be children. You're gonna initiate discipline and other things, and you're gonna teach them, but they are still teaching you how to be a better parent. So when I'm with my daughter and I'm talking to her and she's talking to me and she's wise for her years, she just encourages me to be more of a better parent around her. Be more father-like, be more nurturing. If she says, yo, I want you to come and play kitchen with me, or you know what I mean, I want you to come and cook up some, you know, some fake burgers and whatnot in my little play kitchen, then I'm going to do that. And when I wake up, if she's hungry, I'm in the kitchen whipping up whatever I got to. You know, it's not defined roles anymore. You just have to be a parent. You know what I mean? So I would have to go on YouTube and learn how to braid hair, because I know that there's going to come a time in the day where I'm going to have to do that for her. And I won't assign that to anybody else like that's their duty or that's what they do. No, I think those lines have been definitely blurred and whatnot. Parents are here just to do what parents do. And that's to go back to what I said again, to bring beautiful experiences into these children's lives by any means necessary. You know what I mean? So I salute all of the parents, fathers and mothers at the end of the day, who are there for their children and who don't put restrictions on what it is that they're willing to do to make their children happy. You know what I mean?
When you're with your children in public, because of the way society is now, do you find yourself second guessing how you might discipline your child? Like, say if a child went to cross the street back in the day, parent might say, get over here, might smack him on the butt, smack on the butt and say, don't do that, so they know it's not dangerous. But in a society that you're already seen as being a monster because of your complexion and you're male, do you second guess things you may do to your child in public because of that? What's going on?
Well, because of the criminalization of disciplining your children in the public, and for the simple fact that these children are contractually wards of the state, meaning that if you get in trouble in public, that they can take your child and put it through that nefarious system called a foster care system. You got to be on your P's and Q's, my G. You got to do one of those now or later. Like, okay, we'll take care of your ass later. Not now. All right, peace. So, you know, showing out in public, whipping your children in public, beating your child down and whatnot. I'm not with that. I'm not with sparing the rod, but I'm definitely not with wailing on your children in public. Now, these new children, the ones that are coming in, they turn up on levels that I've never seen before. Like they'll scream the whole block down. They turn up. I'm on 25th. I've been out here for many moons, and I've seen it all. So, you know, they got something special with them. They very defiant. They're telling their parents, you know, they're acting like the Becky children and whatnot. They're telling their parents, no, I'm not doing that. Get out of here. Stop talking to me like that. You know, so there's a level of discipline that you have to, you know what I mean, administer to these children so they don't grow up or they don't walk around thinking that they could do and say anything to anybody. But I'm not with publicly beating the crap out of your children, dragging them through the streets, embarrassing yourself and your children in front of all of the people. That doesn't solve anything. That doesn't help anything. And your child is going to remember that shit, okay? You don't want it to come back on you.
Being a father and a parent, how do you feel about the trend on social media where a child misbehaves, so they'll make them hold a sign, or they'll make them get a crazy haircut, or just something crazy on social media, like if a father catches his daughter twerking, you know, he'll make her do something on social media so she could get embarrassed, so she would know never to do that again. Do you think that's a proper way to discipline the new generation, or that's some foolishness that parents are doing these days?
That's some cruelty. That's some stupid. I'm not with embarrassing, you know, my child to the world. These are strangers. These are people who, you know what I mean? You're talking about social media. So you're talking about the value system that they put into different people. So why would you devalue your child to strangers who may see your child and feel that they could bully your child, who want to make fun of your child? Your child goes to school and they get bullied in school, or they get cyber bullied and whatnot. And we know that the suicide rate online for children that are being cyber bullied is an all-time high. There are children killing themselves on Facebook Live. So why take a bad situation and make it worse? I feel that if you want to discipline your child and you want to publicly put them out there like that, you should refrain from doing such on social media, because why put your child in the social media stream like that to be ridiculed even further? Because you might forget about it, but those pictures, you can't take back what you put on social media. So 5 years from now, 5 days from now, 5 hours from now, when you like, you know what, it's all good, we're gonna go ahead and watch the Steve Harvey show, I forgive you. These people online didn't forgive your child, and they're gonna be turning up, making memes of your damn child. Might become a meme, and the shit won't go away. So, you know, be cautious. You know what I mean? I know that people get heated, and they wanna take that route where they wanna put their child out there, and there's not so many things that you can do to discipline, but don't traumatize your damn child. Don't traumatize your child, especially in cyberspace.
I don't know if I asked you about the Happy Father's Mother's Day card.
I remember that video.
Right. That wasn't you, right?
Nah.
What's your thoughts on that, my brother? Because that's only in the black community, the Happy Father's Mother's Day. Like you said, mothers was forced to play both roles due to welfare, whatever. Do you think that's appropriate in our community to have that, to acknowledge sisters who have played both roles, or that's completely taking away the role of the man in the household?
Well, I mean, let's keep it a stack. Like, if the mother played both roles, if she was playing mother and she was also playing the role of a father, although, you know, that's contentious. Like, I don't really know how somebody who is not a father, like, I can't play the mother. I could raise a child as a father, but how can I play mama? So then how can mama play daddy? You feel me? It's confusing to me. And there lies so much confusion that we find ourselves in as a community, where people are taking these roles and they're self-appointing themselves these roles, like, I'm dad, I'm the father, you know what I mean? And it's like, no, mom, you are a super mother, you are a super mom. You have defied the odds and did something that you were not properly prepared to do, and you raised this young king or this young queen, and you were able to balance both roles. You were there to discipline, you were there to nurture, you were there to protect, you were there to chaperone, you were there to cook, you were there to clean, you were there to do many different things that there was supposed to be a balance, whether it was co-parenting or you had both parents in the household. You are a super mom. Okay? When you say that you're a father, testosterone is secreted, right? Things begin to change biologically and chemically. We don't even got to go there. So I'm not really a big fan of the Mother's Day, Father's Day cards and whatnot. I'm into saying just a super mom. You know what I mean? You defied the odds. You are a great mother. Look at your child. Your child has grown up to be a wonderful child, into a young adult, and then to a prosperous adult and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Papa wasn't there. You know, I shaded his to, Astaghfirullah on him. But that would be my answer. You know what I mean? I'm not really into, because I've seen I'm watching a lot of the confusion that's being caused because these lines are being blurred. You dig what I'm saying? These lines are being blurred, and it's just crazy out here. And that's not to take away from the tragedy, or that's not to take away from the fact that a lot of our men were either forcibly removed, taken out, succumbed to this drug scourge, or they just bounced and shit on some, I don't want to be there. You know what I mean? They just folded. Like, there's so many different stories in these cities. There's so many different stories in this world. I meet people who give me so many different scenarios as to what has happened and what has occurred in their lives. You can't just generalize it and whatnot. You dig what I'm saying? But as a community, we have to find ways to heal. We have to find ways to patch up some of these holes that we have in us. You dig what I'm saying? I know brothers who walking around with humongous holes in their bodies and their hearts because they're not even in their child's lives, and they want to be in their child's lives, but they can't be in their child's life. The court is in the middle saying, you can't be there. And they walking around empty. You dig what I'm saying? And by doing such, you are susceptible to all kind of other things that will bring you into a further sunken place. So,
And they also misdirect that energy onto other people.
They misdirect that energy onto other females. They misdirect that energy onto other males. They misdirect that energy and have new children, and that shit happens again, and then they find themselves in a whole new situation. You feel me? So it's a lot of healing that needs to take place. There's a lot of trauma that has occurred in our communities as a result of these broken families. And I think that we should not be necessarily redefining each other and jumping into these new roles. We should be trying to fix what has been broken. And I know I'm being optimistic, and that might not be with everybody. You know what I mean? I'm just well-wishing and whatnot. But it is what it is at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
In terms of, growing up as a black male in this country, do you think men should have babies or have children at a certain age? Do you think, some brothers may have children at the age of 19, 20? And they say we've always had children young. Other folks have their children later on. Yeah. But we have our children young.
Yes.
So do you think that's appropriate for this culture we live in? Should we wait till we're a little more mature? Or like what's your whole take on that the whole age thing with having children?
Wow, that's a good one. In this economy, everybody is not in the lower brackets, or everybody is not in the middle class, but I'm speaking to the majority of our brothers and sisters who fall in those categories. And because of our culture is not a mature culture, to whereas the way that the 19-year-olds of the 20s and the 30s and the 40s with those factory jobs, you dig what I'm saying? And they have responsibilities, and they were the man of the house at these young ages. This is not that same time.
It was totally different.
Got little Uzi Vert running around these days. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Like, it's mumble rap era. And what they're teaching.
That's why they say you can't. They always say you can't compare eras. They always say that.
Yeah, it's
hard.
It's hard to compare eras. The culture of my father's era is not the same culture of my era. The music that my father listened to, the socioeconomics of his era, of his age, is not the same. The man-children, the man-childs that were coming up in the 50s and the 60s are not the same of the children coming up now. So the maturity level of a 19-year-old doesn't compare to that of your parents or your grandparents. So you have to be very cautious when getting into parenthood at a very young age, because what? The opportunities are not here. The quote-unquote, the mentality is not the same. We're not anchored in culture the way that we should be. So it's very dangerous. You dig what I'm saying? We don't have the opportunity to receive loans at a young age when we want to start a business. You could start an LLC at 20 or 21, but where you going to get your startup money from? Where you going to get the loan from to take the weight off of feeding your babies and things of that nature? Niggas is in these streets. You dig what I'm saying? So the reality TV culture, the Ratchet Monday culture, the deaf culture, the pill popping culture, all of these cultures that are basically pitching to 40 years and all the way down to 7. Remember, the music is now aimed at, look at the cover of the XXL, it's all babies.
Yeah.
And all of the messages that the babies have, Molly Percocet, it's a similar message. Not to paint everybody with the same brush, but their messages are not about parenthood. Their messages are not about how to basically navigate through this system this basically oppressing us. You dig what I'm saying? The messages are not about how to stack funds and how to basically start an LLC and credit lines and all of this trade lines and 700, how to get your credit to 7 and 8. So these things are needed in order to nurture and to bring forth new lives on this planet. You got child care, you got daycare, you have, if you don't want to deal with schooling, you have to go to homeschool. All of these things factor in. Housing, you have the Trump budget cuts coming up. You have the Trump care replacing Obamacare coming up. There's a lot of factors that are taking place, I think, as a community. And then you have the loss of the village, or you have the loss of the community. You have the loss of community economics. You have the loss of a system, a village, of a sisterhood and a brotherhood or fatherhood, where you could be like, you know what? I'm 19. I'm having a seed. I might even be having twins. But I'm not worried because I belong to a circle or community where they're going to take care of the baby. We're all working together. So I could leave my child with someone who I could trust, who's not gonna sexually abuse the child, who's not gonna take advantage, who's not gonna neglect the child, put the child in front of goddamn Netflix all day or the TV or whatnot while they running around and do whatever they wanna do. You dig what I'm saying? I don't think that we have that on a grand scale where it's identified. Yes, that exists in certain enclaves in our community, and that has been established in certain other places, but overall, that's not what we see. So these children who are impressionable, who need a lot of attention, these new babies need a lot of attention. I don't know about the youth having youths. Not right now. Look at what's going on in these streets. A lot of these children that are off the chain, their parents were 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 when they had them. They're twerking in the fucking video with the child. They're listening to Little Uzi Vert with the child. They're popping Molly Percocets with the child. You understand? I'm dead ass. You got mamas and fathers that's popping pills with the child because mama depressed, mama got anxiety, she on Oxycontin, the child is on Oxycontin because the rapper told her to be on Oxycontin. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. So I would say we have to fix the culture. We have to bring the value systems back. We have to bring foundation back, and then we can say, yeah, we're gonna start producing children at a young age because, you know, we're gonna go back to our original ways, our aboriginal. Because remember, back in the days, that was, like you said, that was the modus operandi. They were having children at a very young age, and it wasn't frowned upon. It wasn't looked down upon.
At all.
You dig what I'm saying? But I don't think in this westernized society that we find ourselves in today, it will not nurture these situations. And keep in mind another thing. The childbirth in the hospital, the vaccinations that take place, the Similac, the Enfamil, all of these GMOs, all of these processed foods, the 19-year-olds and the 18-year-olds, they don't even have that fortitude. They don't even have that information to protect them. Not being able to make your child a ward of the state, the kind of paperwork that you need to protect you and yours. I had a phone call about a week ago, salute to the brother. He called me from the minute the day he had a home birth, and then the ambulance had to get called, but I was coaching him, and he was on the phone keeping me updated all the way up until he made it home. He made it home in about 8 hours. He refused to go up. He refused to go upstairs. He refused to have the baby vaccinated. He refused to sign the paperwork and all kind of things. He stood on his square. He was properly prepared. Him and his queen. They got to walk out of that hospital with their child, without shots and all of these other things, without the child being contracted to the state as a ward of the state. So you got people out there that's on their square. But that's not the majority of us. So to feed the children to the system, hell nah. Nah, you know what I mean? Something drastically has to change, because our babies are cannon fodder at this point. Our babies are cannon fodder, and it's not a game. You know what I mean? It is not a game. So yeah, that I'm pleading to the community to really focus on fatherhood and motherhood in our communities. A lot of us suffer in silence, meaning that we need support systems, meaning that I remember when I had my daughter and I was looking for a support system. I was looking for people who cared, and it was very scarce to find people who gave a fuck. You dig what I'm saying? And that hurt. So I have to speak up for people who might not have a voice, who are out here with new babies, who are suffering postpartum depression with the sisters. We got to talk about that. People need support groups. We need to get together when it comes to how-tos, because a lot of people are going to be like, how to protect our child from vaccinations. I'm out here and sisters are coming up asking me, yo, Red, can you help me with the paperwork? The New York City did away with all of the templates, all of the excuses, taking the religious route and things of that nature. They shooting all of that down.
They changed that?
They going hard.
Wow.
And Trump and his you know, and his little bandits and whatnot, with Betsy DeVos and all of them, they're even beginning to implement mandatory vaccinations, even though they say that he's against vaccinations, but they're going to begin to implement that when he comes forth with these budget cuts and all of these other things, and the Trump care. So we need more people who can testify, yo, this is what works, this is what doesn't work, these are the steps that you take. This is how you have home births. This is how you protect the child. These are the herbs. These are the vitamins and all of these other things. It is imperative because the babies are the future. And also, going back to what I was saying as well, we should begin to develop a susu or some kind of communal economics for the parents that don't have, who need. All of these things are essential. You dig what I'm saying? So our brothers and sisters don't have to compromise themselves in order to feed their babies. So with that being said, you know, let that, you know what I mean? If y'all could put it, if y'all could help, if people are out there doing it already, leave a comment in the comment box. Let the people who are watching the video know that you exist, and reach, so they can reach out to you and get some kind of resolve.
Peace, family. This is Brother Rich from UGR. Urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of $1. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figured since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion, I ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.
I went from living like monks, living out back of the trunk, to pockets of fat with the mumps, pockets of fat like the clubs. Now I am living like Trump, now I am living like Trump. Mimosas and mimosas, mimosas and mimosas, mimosas and mimosas, the Morris Costa Nostra. Pulling up in Testarossa, recharging the debt, discharging the debt, discharging the debt, recharging the jet. Swipers on deck, ciphers on deck, ciphers on deck, wifers on deck, wifers on deck. My life is on check, my life is on check, my life is on tubes, my life is a Jew, my life is on you, my wife is on two, my wife is on two. I'm going for 3, you know it is me. Bread is the pillar, the jet is my pillar.